Welcome to Strangeville. Welcome to the channel. My name is Kevin Strange, 20-year veteran of the underground. I am a cartoonist, novelist, and independent filmmaker, and I am here today to share my love of comic books with you. Today we got something special for you, gang. When I was out in Pennsylvania many moons ago, back before the Bizarro Wars, when I was still an accepted member of the Bizarro fiction organization, not organization, but the Bizarro fiction community. I went and visited Mr. Brian Keene, who is a popular mid-list 90s horror author who's kind of peaked out at leisure books with his zombie novel, The Rising, and he sort of came about at the same time as The Walking Dead and the 28 Days Later, and then his novel, and he has been disappointing fans ever since. Me and my buddy drove out there for his podcast. Drove out to Pennsylvania from Illinois. I took a train up to Chicago, and then we drove to Pennsylvania, and we had a great time. Spent a few days with my friend Mike out there, and did Brian's show, and it was a lot of fun. And one of the things we gifted each other some of our stuff. I gave him some movies and some of my novels. I hadn't started making comic books at the time. And Brian gave me this. He gave me this comic book, Dead of Night. For Kevin, you slay me. Brian Keene. Got it signed and personalized and everything. And we're going to go through it. We're going to look at it today. But first, it is October. It is Monster Month. And that means my new comic book piece, Count Kefula, a.k.a. Dracula in Strangeville, is out now. It is available in the Patreon at the link below. For only $3, you get access to Count Kefula, my new 28-page full-color comic book piece about Dracula, breezing into the peaceful town of Strangeville, gathering up and vampirizing some big booty hoes, and promptly throwing himself a blood bang party. What's a blood bang party, you ask? Well, you have to read the comic to find out. And he wants the best weed in town, which means enter Nixon and Hogan, our two resident stoner drug dealer duo who provide the Colombian smoke weed, the best weed in Strangeville, and of course shenanigans ensue. You can also pre-order the print version at the link below. $12 gets you the comic book and a beautiful 11x17 poster. If you're familiar with my work, if you've ordered comics from me before, you know I always produce a nice big 11x17 poster piece to go along with it. And we have that ready for you all month long. We're doing the pre-order with the free poster all month long. That pre-order ends on Halloween, October 31st. I'm going to print the books in and print and ship in the month of November. So you'll get your books in November. We are marching towards that coveted 1,000 subscribers, gang. We're almost there, less than 150 to go as of the recording of this video. And I actually had to bump the recording of this video up because Brian Keene and his merry band of beta males are going to be in my hood this weekend in St. Louis for their AuthorCon thing that they're doing, and nobody called me. Nobody asked old Kevin Strange. I got 18 published novels. I've been in this game 20 years. Nobody asked me to come to AuthorCon. I'm right down the street. I could see the arch on a clear night from the highest hill in Strangeville. So I wanted to put this out on Saturday to make sure that Brian Keene hears my name while he's in town. That's my goal, because he's a douchebag and he's been poking at me for years. I've been poking at him for years. Look up the Bizarro Wars gang if you want to know the whole sordid history between me and Brian Keene. But as of the recording of this video, we need less than 150 new subscribers to get us to that coveted 1,000 subscriber goal and get us out of small channel hell. Once that happens, I'm giving away my splatter gore tome, Kevin Strange's Space Worms, 164 full color pages of brain-wormy monster fighting action here. I'm gonna put it up digitally on the Patreon. The Patreon is $3 a month, gets you access to everything, but for 1 month, free of charge, you're going to be able to download Kevin Strange's Space Worms, the graphic novel, once we hit that coveted 1,000 subscribers. So that all being said, Brian Keene is a douchebag. Brian Keene, after that fateful visit where I drove up to Pennsylvania to hang out with him and do his podcast, it wasn't maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 months later that the Bizarro War started. Well, no, it was at the end of that year, because that was a Bizarro Con that Brian attended, and then, as Brian has been doing for the last decade plus, he decided to try to cancel some fucking kid over nonsense, over bullshit reasons, and I took exception with yet another Brian Keene cancel party, and so I started a podcast and I started to counter program and refute all of the claims that Brian and his friends were making about this weird autistic kid. I didn't know him from Adam. I talked to that kid maybe two times. I never even got a thank you from him for going to bat for him and trying to make sure that the Bizarro community and the literary community at large understood that these guys are virtue signaling beta male SJW douchebags whose goal is to ruin the lives of as many men as they can in the writing community to get them out of the way, because they're Brian loved to brag on his podcast about how poor he was. He didn't have health insurance, he had failing eyesight because he couldn't afford surgery, and yet every week on his podcast he tried to ruin the career of another writer. It's like, that ain't good optics, bro. If you're having so much trouble paying your bills and you're trying to get your competition out of the way, there's other ways to do it, like being a good writer, like writing good books and putting them out on time. Anyway, so I became persona non grata, public enemy number one, the Voldemort of Bizarro, the he who shan't be named, and I continue to be that to this day, because the Bizarro community just started destroying itself after that, because I brought up, obviously I was just stating facts and bringing up points of hypocrisy where some members of the community got special treatment because they had high clout, they had socially climbed to a place where canceling them would have been detrimental to the rest of the high and mighty members of the clique. And so I just pointed stuff like that out, and I pointed to some of Brian's friends and some other people, and there was one guy in particular who was being protected by Brian's publisher, and so I pointed out that yo, the people who write your checks, dog, they've got this dude that they're protecting, and you ain't saying shit about him. Like all these other dudes that have their indiscretions are like being drunk and horny at conventions and being annoying for a night, and then their careers are ruined forever, and they've never fucking written books ever since, to make sure that Brian continues to get his paycheck, to try to eliminate the competition from the small readership that Bizarro and horror small press has. And so before that happened, before November, Brian was putting together his end of year list of his favorite podcast episodes for the year, and put my appearance on his show as one of the highlights of the year. And we had a great time together, and we, everything was fine. And in a normal world, in a just world, in a non-clown world, we could have had these disagreements and still remained friends and still remained in the same community and clique, and I wouldn't have been, excommunicated for speaking about the hypocrisy of the power wielders in the, for speaking truth to power, as they like to say. But we do live in clown world, and we don't live in a just world. And these little cliques and communities in these on the internet and on Facebook are very petty and very spiteful and very catty. And so I went from being one of Brian's favorite guests on his podcast for the year to being the worst guy to ever step foot in the Bizarro and Small Press horror community. And Brian later on, bizarrely, years later, like last year, did like a retrospective, like one-off only podcast, because he had ended his podcast after his buddy Dave died. And I'm not sure if Dave died of cancer or if Dave died. He had a lot of heart trouble, and I've never had a bad word to say about Dave, and I'm really sorry about his passing. And I guess it was supposed to be a tribute show to Dave, but Brian made sure to mention me on that podcast, and he said something along the lines, I didn't listen to it, I don't care, but people came to me and told me about it, just like people are going to come to him at AuthorCon on Saturday in St. Louis and tell him about this show that I'm doing right now, because that's how this shit works. He ain't going to listen to this, but people are going to listen to it and then run and gossip to him and tell him what I say here and now. And he apparently, allegedly said on that tribute to Dave one-off podcast that his biggest regret in his career, in his entire career, is quote-unquote making Kevin Strange famous. Now keep in mind, I had a 15-year career. I had an entire career in film, in low-budget, raunchy horror comedy films. I made 7 feature films that have been played in film festivals and conventions and had major distribution long before I ever met Brian Keene. So whatever inflated sense of self-worth Brian has, thinking he made me famous, that appearance on his podcast, while it was fun and I enjoyed hanging out with him and Dave and Mary and Mike and Lex and all the other people that we met up with that weekend, it didn't do anything for my career. I didn't sell one extra book because I was on that podcast. His fan base and my fan base don't overlap much at all. His fan base is middle-aged cat ladies and stay-at-home moms, and my fan base is mentally ill middle-aged men, and I like it that way. And I love my fans and my fan base, and I love the people that I make comic books for. And so I thought that was super. And I've never said anything. Like, I've never publicly responded to Brian saying that the biggest regret in his career is that he made me famous. And he recorded that podcast, I would say, like, but within a couple weeks or a month of an appearance I made at Crypticon, Kansas City. And a big horror convention, and I had a booth right out front, double booth, and I had it packed full of people, and we were wearing luchador masks, and we were drinking, and we had sexy girls at the table, and we drew just a big crowd, sold out of everything. And right next to us was Wesley Southard and Wiley, I forget his name, two of Brian Keene's stooges. And I even tried to talk to him. I tried to get him into our zany little con party that we were having at the table, and they just sat there with their fucking arms crossed and acted like we might as well have been shitting directly on the floor in front of them. They were having such a miserable time having a table next to old Kevin Strange. I guess that got back to Brian Keene. Oh my God, Kevin's popular out on the convention circuit. Well, yeah, I'm popular out on the convention circuit. We have a good time. Strangeville brings positive energy, real strong positive energy out to the convention scene, just like I bring big positive energy right here to this show. Why all the dollar bin diggers keep coming back to these videos and watching us talk about the comics we love day in and day out on this daily comic book channel. I'm sorry that God made me this way, but he gave me this charisma and this personality, and yeah, when I go out in public and do shows, generally we have a great time and make people happy. So I guess that got back to Brian, and Brian said, my biggest regret is making Kevin Strange famous. So I guess this is finally my response video to that a couple of years or a year later. I knew I wanted to say something and I wanted to make it special. And so doing this review of his, I was going through my collection after I started this, Dollar Bin Diggers YouTube show here on my YouTube channel. I was going through looking at all my comics like, well, if I'm going to do this every day, that means I need 365 comic books to review in the first year alone. And I have that. I have thousands of comic books. That's not a problem, but I was digging through my stuff and I found this Brian Keene comic and I said, perfect. I could see the thumbnail in my head. Brian Keene sucks at comics. And I've never even read the thing, gang. I just know his minions are going to look at that thumbnail and go running to him, and certain members of his crew or adjacent to his crew are going to watch this and make sure to go gossip to him about what I have to say. I've never read this before. We're going to, even though the thumbnail is Brian Keene sucks at comics, maybe he's the best comics writer in the world, but I'm still trolling him with that thumbnail regardless of what this comic book looks like. So it's Dead of Night, written by Brian Keene. The artist is Chris Samney, and the colorist is June Chung. And the letterer is Virtual Calligraphy's Joe Caramagna. So I apologize to all of those individuals. You did nothing wrong. I'm sure this is a fantastic comic book, and maybe Brian wrote a great comic book too. I gotta troll the man. This is just how me and Brian are. One of these days maybe we'll bury the hatchet before he's an old man, before he passes, or before I pass. Everybody dies suddenly these days of heart-related unexplainable ailments. So who knows which one of us will pass first? But we have this nice splash page here. Guy looking out of a plane. Dead of Night, Devil Slayer, 1 foot in hell. Let's check this out. Let's check this out together, gang. The first thing you notice when flying into Iraq is how brown everything is. Sand and mud, desolation, a barren wasteland. Nothing grows here anymore. Everything is dead or dying. And with all the oil fires and the heat, it's like flying over hell. So why does it feel like I'm coming home? This ain't the worst art I've ever seen in my life. This is okay. We're doing all right. We're off to a good start. All right, here we go. Third time's the charm, right? I mean, if those first 2 tours of duty didn't kill me, do you mind? Sorry. Maybe this one will. Just excited, trying to take it all in. Let me guess. Fresh out of basic, right? Please return your tray tables and their seats to their upright positions as we prepare for arrival at Baghdad International Airport. Word. PVC Miles Oshus. Reporting for duty. Ready to kick ass. How'd you know? I get paid to notice things. I'm a journalist for the Bugle. No shit. Hey, you should interview me. Fucking journalists. Between the media embeds, diplomats, civilian contractors, and troops, I think there's more Americans in Baghdad than there are in Iraq. I think there's more Americans in Baghdad than there are Iraqis. And I've got a hell of a story. That's one of the reasons why this place is such a mess. Alright, so we got an army story, gang. Got an army tale here. Is it going to be zombies? Is this a zombie book? What's going on in this book? I don't know. I see a lot of talking. We got some crazy oil fires. We got, I don't know. It looks like soldiers fighting soldiers. I'm not sure there's any zombies in this. I don't know if anything weird goes on in this book other than this guy being a miserable 3-time tour of duty soldier in Iraq. They told us in school that this was where civilization started. This will probably be where it ends, too. Isaac Kaufman, I'll take your bag, sir. Yeah, thank you. Let's get to the compound right away. The pieces are in place. Oh, what does that mean? Have you been assigned to the Quick Reaction Force? Me too. Sergeant Danny Silva. Welcome to Baghdad. Good to be here, Sergeant. I'm excited. Looks like our ride is here. Was I ever as green as this kid? Excited. Give it time, Private. Give it time. Later, QRF's barracks inside the green zone. Get the fuck out of here! You guys believe this? No way! Shit, man. Sergeant Danny Silva, you crazy? I thought you were civilian now. The fuck you doing back? And who's your friend? Christ, you guys are still here? Miles, meet the rest of QRF. DeMarcus, Zims, Kellerman, Lopez, Kennison, Harrison, Jansen, and Jones. Hate to break up the welcoming committee, Danny, but Lieutenant Buckler wants to see you as soon as you arrived. Great. I'll walk with you. All right, well, we're going to skip ahead here, gang, because we're just... we're slowly moving through something. Let's try to get to something interesting here, huh? I mean, goddamn, Brian Keene. We can't even get any action on the first page. You just, This is comic books, sir. We need big double-page spreads and monsters and zombies and sexy babes. And you're just slow-walking me through some army bullshit. My God, we're still just talking. Here we go. Here's some shit. But it looks like it's just, some war action. It's a war book, Kevin Strange. How many people go missing in Iraq every day? How many are never found? What happens to them? See, Miles? So far, so boom! I guess that's Miles. I guess that's our boy. Our our new boy's already, Brian's already smoked our Boy Scout, I guess. Good. So far, so good. Tank cover! Fucking sniper, call it in! I got... The hell are these things? They don't look... Lopez, Harrison, do you copy? My comm's down. Mine too. Something's jamming it. We need help. Where the hell are those... Where the hell are the Bloodstone guys? Maybe they fell into the same trap. Hey, Danny, what? That guy's blown away. I told Miles to rely on me. He did. All of them did. They followed me without question into the slaughterhouse. What? What do you think he sees, gang? Is he gonna see something cool? What's on this next page? I don't know. Let's see. Oh! What in the world? Awesome! This is what I'm talking about. Into hell itself. Howdy! Feel free to scream if you want. We got a pentagram on the floor. We got demons. This dude's got pointy fucking teeth. Who knows who this guy is? This guy's awesome. We got this... I guess he's dead. We got this soldier hanging upside down. I guess we got a demon claw grabbing him. We got demons all over the place. We got other dudes hanging upside down. It's a freaking scene from Hellraiser in here, gang. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Now we're getting somewhere. Woo, woo! Dead of Night, Book 2. By Demons Driven. Ooh, all right. I was gonna bail, but let's keep going. Now we're into something. The adrenaline rush makes me feel like puking. The stench doesn't help. Blood, piss and shit, cordite, sulfur. Beneath it all, there's something else. When I was a kid, I found a bottle along the road. A mouse had crawled inside it and died cooking in the sun. When I turned the bottle upside down, the liquefied mouse dribbled out. These guys, they smell like that. On your knees, motherfuckers! Should we tell them about the cover charge? Now! Look at this snake tongue our boy in the cowboy hat has. And what if we say no? What will you do then? Ask God for help? Nope. Bop, 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 bop. Speechless. I let the M4 talk for... excuse me. Speechless. I let the M4 talk for me instead. My ears ring. The handguards rattle and burn my palms. That's nothing compared to what it does to them. Oh, we got a cool demon head explosion here. This is pretty cool. Our dude gets all shot up. His poor hat took a ton of damage there. I wonder if that was in the Brian Keene notes as a writer, or if the artist embellished on that and put a bunch of bullet holes in the hat itself. But somehow they get back up again. That's a cool demon right there. Their wounds heal as I watch. I hear their skin growing. Bones and joints crackle and pop. Are you finished? Good, because now it's our turn. What the hell are you? How's it go? Please allow me to introduce myself. And they start shooting at him. Brat, 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 brat. Ramos, Nasser, do you copy? Comms still down. I'm on my own in here. M4 didn't do shit. Grenade launchers in the Humvee. I've got 80 pounds of gear. Exit seems like a mile away. Nasser, Ramos, come in, goddammit. Feels like I'm running in cement, but I make it outside and see why Ramos and Nasser aren't responding. They're all fucked up and decapitated down here. It's fucking hardcore. Those Bloodstone guys aren't human, but whatever they are, there's no way they can survive this. He's grabbing his rocket launcher. He went through there. Here they come, charging after him. An MK-19 340 mm fires 10 grenades in 5 seconds. That's a good start. Boom, 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 boom. Huge fucking explosion right there. I'm not leaving my friends' bodies behind, so I look for another way inside. Turns out hell has a back door. Gotta move quick. Hot inside here. Hard to breathe. Who were these people? Parents? Siblings? Spouses? Why butcher them like this? Need to get back to base. Figure this shit out. That takes care of Wall. Now for the others. Fires spread. Need to drag their bodies out. They do the same for me. Back so soon? What the? Ready for round 2? Why won't you die? Because you don't have what it takes to kill me. You have no idea what you stepped into here, boy. Oh, you have any idea what you stepped into here, boy? Any idea what you're fucking with? I know you work for Bloodstone. I know you killed these people, and you smell like an open sewer. If I didn't have a rendezvous in Alcerna tomorrow night, I'd take my time with you, cut a hole into your belly, and stick my... You'll do no such thing. Here's that journalist, bro, from the plane. Stand down, demon. A magi. Stand down, demon. A magi? I thought we killed all you in Gaza last year. You thought wrong. Well, then I'll just have to make sure this time. Hope this one was worth it. He claws him in the belly. You think some paltry binding spell is going to hold me forever? Come with me. We need to go. You're the reporter from the plane. I can't leave my guys behind. You've got no choice. Not if you want to avenge them. What about him? He can't move, but it only lasts for a few minutes. How bad are you hurt? Just get me to my car. We should take the Humvee. No, they'll be looking for that. This guy better have some answers. Where am I going? Make a left. Who the hell are you, really? I think that's a good place to stop, gang. You can decide for yourself if what we just looked at here. I'm into it. We got demons. We got wizards fighting demons. We got... we're in Iraq with a grizzled veteran. Maybe Brian Keene doesn't suck at writing comics. I don't know. I'll have to read the rest of this in my free time. And you guys, if you want to pick it up, you can look this up on on Amazon or eBay, or try to find it in one of the dollar bin. Do some dollar bin digging. I'm sure Brian Keene comics are all over the dollar bin. Where's my? I'm looking for my PO box. Where's my PO box at? I don't see it, gang. My PO box disappeared. Where'd it go? It should be in my YouTube folder. Am I just overlooking it over and over again? So if you're one of Brian Keene's, lackeys, and you're watching this, and you're gonna run back and tell him about, boy, oh boy, where is? It's like my PO box disappeared. You're gonna tell him about this video. Try to be charitable. Try to be honest, and let him know I did a nice and fair Kevin Strange P.O. box. Where is it, motherfucker? I don't know why I was having so much trouble so much trouble finding that. All right, try to be charitable and let him know I gave his book a fair and honest review in spite of the troll thumbnail on the video. You got to do what you got to do. This is a business. I'm trying to work here, trying to do my job. If you find some Brian Keene comics in the dollar bin, and you want me to review them on the channel, you can send them to Kevin Strange, P.O. Box number 5, Cottage Hills, Illinois 62018. If you are a comics creator and you want to see your comics featured on the channel, like I just featured Brian Keene, you can send your comics to Kevin Strange, P.O. Box number 5, Cottage Hills, Illinois 62018, like Adam Yeater did with the Blaspheme comic anthology. It is a book of anti-zealot comics featuring, curiously, coincidentally, only white Christian males as the zealots, not Muslims or Jews or communists or anyone like that, or God forbid, not a single brown is criticized or black is criticized in the entire anthology. But we do have awesome artists like Ron Thuin, who I've been calling Ron Thurin. I've been putting an R in here, gang, because that's I'm stupid. Ron Thuin, fantastic artist. Mondo Groovy, fantastic artist. I always flip to that when I show this off at the end of the videos right now. Just trying to give Adam a rub and kind of show this off at the end of several videos. I always try to show off that Ron Thuin section because he's where is it? I just can't find anything today, gang. Is that Mondo Groovy right there? I think that might be Mondo Groovy right there. Where be that Ron Thuin stuff? No, not there. I don't know. I can't find it. I can't find anything today. Maybe it's not in here. Maybe Satan rose up in the night and stole Ron Thuin's pages from my book here, gang. Well, anyway, yeah. Adam Yeater was kind enough to send me his Blaspheme anthology to review on the channel, which we will do. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to get out of here and go do some dollar bin digging and see if I can't find some Brian Keene comics. So hope I see you there, and remember to keep on digging.